What's up, everybody? I'm Flash. This is One Man's Opinion, the show where we cover just about everything. And today we're finally refilming the Super Mario Brothers review. Unfortunately, we had audio problems with the first round, so here we are a week later doing it again. And so today we're going to talk about Mario. Got my Mario shirt on. We're representing Mario. We're going to talk about Mario. We're going to break down Mario a little bit. But in case you haven't noticed, I am in a new space here. I finally got a new setup going. Finally found a workaround for some of the computer issues I was having, and so I've got my space set up. The next thing to do is to put the movies in the background. It'll probably adjust some more as we go, as I kind of figure out my new space a little bit. I'll have posters up. We'll have the movies, all that stuff that used to be in the background. Plus, maybe a few new things. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But super excited about that, so I hope you guys are excited as well. Let me know in the comments below if you've got an idea of something that I need back here to fill this space. But anyway, we got a movie review to talk about. So let's talk about Super Mario Brothers just a little bit. Now, look, there are good and there are bad things about this movie. Mostly all good. First things first, let's keep in mind that this is a children's movie at its core. And so I'm not going to be like super harsh on this film because it's not going to get the same critique that like an adult drama would get. Okay, you got to divide these things up right. And this is more of a kid's cartoonish kind of movie, but at the same time, there is an adult audience for this film. Certainly a lot of nostalgia that goes into a movie like this. A lot of people looking back and a lot of fond memories, and the movie is full of those references. I can't tell you how many times I saw something happen, something play out on screen, and I thought, oh, that's from this game. Even as far away from just Super Mario video games and into like Smash Brothers territory. For example, when Mario and Donkey Kong, and this is not spoilers because part of this is in the trailer, but when Mario and Donkey Kong are fighting, there are moves that are used during that fight scene that you're like, yeah, that's directly out of a Smash Brothers video game. Those are moves that they would use there. And so there is this broader connecting universe that could be built around this Super Mario movie. Beyond that, we already have Sonic movies, and we know that Sonic and Mario are very connected. Their worlds are very connected. So yeah, I fully expect this to come full circle and there to be a Super Nintendo universe built around Mario, around Sonic. Something akin to what we got with the Avengers. Hopefully it won't careen off a massive cliff the way the Avengers have, but that's a whole other video for another day. As far as Mario goes, as far as the movie goes, the movie is a whole lot of fun. It is funny when it needs to be funny. It does a great job with relationships between characters, whether it's Mario and Peach, Mario and Bowser, Mario and Luigi, certainly one of my favorite relationships there. Toad and Peach, Toad and Mario. There's all kind of different interactions that you get, including Donkey Kong with Mario and a few of the others. So, like, you get all these interactions between these characters, and all of them come off really, really well. The things that I have problems with in this movie are very small and almost not worth mentioning, but since I'm here, I'll go ahead and name one of them. And I don't even know if this is a gripe so much as just a question to you, the audience, but is there a reason that Mario always starts off in these movies in our world? I don't know why we have to have him in Brooklyn with like his Mario family at the beginning of the movie. Why can't Mario just be a member of the Mushroom Kingdom? Why do we have to relate it to our world in some way? I don't think audiences need to see our world to make the leap in logic and be like, oh, because he was in the sewer underneath the city and went into a weird green tunnel, obviously that spit him out into an alternate universe in the Mushroom Kingdom. That makes perfect sense. Like, you don't need that because that doesn't make sense. And so if you're going to have the leap in logic and just put us in this fantasy world anyway, everyone knows who Mario is. Everyone knows what the Mushroom Kingdom is. You would be hard-pressed to find anybody around the globe, except for in some very remote places, who doesn't know who Mario is, who doesn't know where he comes from. I don't know why we have to tailor it to our world. Now, I will say on a positive note, I think that did give us some funny moments. I think there were comedic moments that were brought about. In particular, Mario and Luigi's commercial where they advertise themselves as plumbers is really, really funny. I thoroughly enjoyed the whole commercial. The whole bit was great. But then you also have scenes that feel like they were put in specifically to pad the runtime, which is like when Mario and Luigi are trying to fix a leak in a woman's house, and there's this whole thing with like a dog, and it was like, what is this? What is this? Does it have anything to do with the movie? And aside from setting up Mario and Luigi's relationship and getting a feel for Mario's personality versus Luigi's personality, it doesn't serve much of a purpose. And it's not like it's not something you couldn't have done in the Mushroom Kingdom without any problems. You could have set that up any way you wanted just in the Mushroom Kingdom. So I don't really understand why we have to have that. And you might say, well, it's the beginning of Mario's career and you need him to be kind of new to the whole thing, so that way you get the training montage. You could still have that. Just because Mario lives in the Mushroom Kingdom doesn't mean he's a hero of the Mushroom Kingdom. You know, in the video games, he's just going to save Princess Peach. And in this movie, he could just be the guy who volunteers to go save. Like, you could still have, and I don't want to get too far. We'll just say someone gets kidnapped in the movie, because I don't know what spoiler territory. I can't remember what all ends up in the trailer and what doesn't. But let's just say in the movie, someone gets kidnapped, and Mario has a very good reason to be the person who volunteers to go save them. You don't need it to be set in Brooklyn or to tie to Brooklyn or to have anything to do with our world. I just wish that it was separate and apart and it was just this own thing. But that's just more of a personal gripe and not something I'm necessarily going to take off points for the movie for. The only thing really that I want to take off points from the movie for, and I'll cover this and then we'll get back to the positives and we'll wrap this thing up pretty quickly, because there are a lot of positives in this movie. But let me go ahead and get this negative out of the way really quick. My biggest gripe in the whole movie is, why could we not get anybody other than Seth Rogen to play Donkey Kong? Because he's just like, look, you got Jack Black playing Bowser, and yeah, when he sings, he sounds like Jack Black. But he's doing a Bowser voice the whole time. Like, he's committed to the role, and like, he crushes it. Jack Black absolutely crushes it as Bowser. And then like, Keegan-Michael Key playing Toad is probably my favorite character from the whole movie. Keegan-Michael Key as Toad is absolutely hilarious, and the personality that they build around Toad is just an absolute joy to watch on screen. And Keegan-Michael Key is doing a voice. It's not just Keegan up there talking and doing a voice. Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong is just Seth Rogen in any other movie you've ever seen him in. It's the same voice, the same laugh, the same guy we always get in any Seth Rogen film that you've ever seen. And Seth Rogen's fine for what he does. If you're into Seth Rogen, then you'll probably love Seth Rogen doing Seth Rogen, because that's what Seth Rogen is. But, because I love Donkey Kong, but he should have more of a presence, even if they're going for like a younger Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong has an arc in this movie where he's trying to actively kind of impress his father. And that's not a spoiler, that's just kind of the arc that he takes in the movie. And I won't go into whether or not he's successful. But just because he's a younger Donkey Kong doesn't mean that he can't still have this intimidating presence instead of coming off as like a frat kid, which is the way he came off to me. And to me, it boggled my mind why they wanted to go that direction. I don't know. You know, Seth Rogen's got a lot of close ties in Hollywood, and for all I know, him and the director of this film are best buddies. You know, and maybe the film was partially his idea. I really don't know. I haven't dug that deep into it. It wouldn't surprise me if Seth Rogen was in on the production of this film and probably put himself in a pretty large supporting role. It's pretty common for him. He produces a lot of films, and look, I'm not knocking the guy. There are a lot of Seth Rogen movies that I like. I like him fine. I don't think he's great, but I don't think he's bad either. I like him in certain movies just fine. I just didn't like him for this role, and I really wish they would have gotten almost anybody else. Beyond all that, the cast killed it. Chris Pratt as Mario, really, really good, really strong. And no, he doesn't hold the kind of goofy Italian accent that you get in the video games through the whole film, but there are moments where he uses catchphrases and things like that, and it comes out in that same kind of Mario way. Mamma Mia, in particular, you get that like 3 or 4 times, and you get nods and references to all the others at different times. And so, like, I thought he did a great job. I know a lot of people weren't crazy about his portrayal of the character when the trailer first hit, but I think if you watch the movie, I think you're going to find that it doesn't detract from the film in any kind of way. By that same token, Charlie Day as Luigi was money. I really liked Luigi in this movie. I really liked Charlie Day as Luigi a lot. I think he played that role super well. It was a hand-in-glove fit from the get-go, and so I liked that a lot. Again, Jack Black as Bowser. You get the Peaches song that everybody's raving about. I'm gonna love you till the very end. Everybody loves Jack Black, everybody loves Bowser, and everybody loves Jack Black as Bowser. It really came off really, really well. Anya Taylor-Joy as Princess Peach was super good. Super good. Her voice acting was just, it was really crisp. Like, when I first heard her, I was like, wow, that sounds really good. Whoever that is. And I had to go and look. And I know Anya from a few of her horror movies that I've seen her in. And so that's probably where you'll recognize her from also. Yeah, she was phenomenal. The whole cast, look, I could go on and on. The whole cast from start to finish was really great. There are a lot of great cameos from a lot of different characters. Characters from extremely obvious characters that you expect to see all the way to more obscure characters that maybe you wouldn't expect to see. And going back to the universe building, there's even references to things like Mike Tyson's Punch-Out on the sign of an arcade. I think it's an arcade or like a pizzeria or something like that. There's a Punch-Out pizzeria, or maybe it's an arcade. There are references throughout to the broader Nintendo universe, which is just another reason to believe that this is going places. There will be sequels. There will be spin-offs. I believe 100% that we're going to get a full Nintendo universe before it's over, and maybe even a Smash Brothers movie down the line somewhere. You know, if you got to bring the whole Nintendo universe together under one umbrella, kind of in an Avengers fashion, what would you call it? I mean, you would probably go with a Smash Brothers title. I think it's a slam dunk. I think it's really smart. But more to the point, the movie is really, really good. It's a fun time. There's a lot of good laughs in it, a lot of solid moments. And from beginning to end, it's a fun ride. So if you haven't seen Mario, give it a shot. I say give it a shot. If you've ever been a fan of Mario, of the video games, you're going to see things in there from the earliest video games all the way until the latest video games. And so if you look hard, you're going to see those references. I would say the only video games I didn't see references for was Paper Mario. I never saw anything that looked like Paper Mario. Maybe I missed it. And then I didn't see any references to Mario RPG. And some of you might not know what Mario RPG was, but it was basically exactly what it sounds. It was a RPG game that was for Super Nintendo. I have it. It's one of my all-time favorite games, and I would love to see Geno or one of those original characters from that game pop up in one of these movies one day. I would personally love to see it, though there may not be a big audience for it. I think it would be really cool. But let me know in the comments below if you guys are familiar with Mario RPG. Let me know if you've seen Mario, what you thought about it. If you haven't seen it, did this video do anything to kind of persuade you? I'm telling you, give it a chance. It's a fun time. I think you'll love it. I'm going to rate Mario, and I'm going to give Mario a 96 out of 100. All right, thank you guys so much for hanging out. Don't forget to drop down in the comments. Let me know what your thoughts were. And if you want more Mario-based content, you can always look at my last video. I just did an epic rap battle reaction. It was Mario and Luigi versus the Wright brothers. Super Mario Brothers versus the Wright brothers. It's pretty fun. It's not one of the best epic rap battles, I'm not going to lie to you, but it's always a good time to get in there, break down the verses, that sort of thing. So if that interests you, make sure you're hitting subscribe. Make sure you're hitting the bell. You can catch my next videos. I'm getting out of here. I've kept you long enough. And if you disagree with me, you saw Mario, you didn't like it, and you thought it was a trash movie, and this is a trash review, don't get mad about it. Remember, it's just one man's opinion. Thanks. Peaches, 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 peaches. Oh, yeah. Oh.